The Harkath fleet came like a dark storm. Thousands of ships moved across space in perfect formation. Their hulls were sharp like blades. Their weapons were hot, glowing with deadly energy. They were the strongest army in the galaxy, or so. They believed. Admiral Zyron stood inside his command ship, Bloodfang. He was tall, cold, and cruel. His 4 black eyes stared at the screen. Before him was the edge of human space. There was silence. No defense lines. No outposts, no human fleets, nothing except one ship. Just one, floating in the dark. Is this a joke? Zyron growled. His voice sounded like cracking stone. No, Admiral, replied his officer. Scanners confirm. Only one human ship. Class, unknown. Not moving. No response. XYR own hissed. One ship? This is all the humans have left? The bridge crew laughed. Some clapped their claws. Others joked that the humans must have gone extinct. This will be easy, another officer said. We crush this last ship and human space is ours. Zyron's lips curled into a smile. Prepare to destroy it. But the ship didn't move, didn't turn, didn't speak. It just floated, still and silent like a ghost. The Aegis was its name, written in dull white letters on its side. Its surface was dark, gray, smooth, without any lights. Not a single signal, no shields, no movement. Not even power readings. To the aliens, it looked dead. But inside, deep in the command center, Captain Ray sat alone. Human. Calm. Waiting. 5 years earlier, Earth had gone silent. No transmissions. No trade. No answers. The galaxy thought humans had collapsed. Some believed they had killed each other. Others said they had left the galaxy. The Harkath saw it as weakness, a chance to take everything. They began to invade, first the border worlds, then the trade colonies, then the core systems. No resistance. Every scan said the same thing. No ships, no armies, no people, only old satellites and empty stations. So they kept moving forward, deeper and deeper, until now. And still. Only one ship. Send a warning shot, Zyron ordered. A pulse cannon fired. Bright green energy shot out. Across space. It hit near the human ship. The Aegis didn't move, didn't even react. That's enough games, Zyron said. Send boarding teams. I want that ship pulled apart. 3 attack craft launched. Each carried 10 elite HFY soldiers, armed, armored, trained to kill anything. They reached the Aegis within minutes. Clamps locked. Hatches hissed open. The boarding team stepped inside. Then, silence. Status? Zyron asked. No answer. Report. He barked again. A soft crackle. Then a voice, shaking, full of fear. This place is wrong. It's empty. No crew. No bodies, just walls. Another voice whispered. There's something here. I feel it watching. The walls of the Aegis were smooth and cold. The corridors were wide and perfect. No damage, no dust. But no lights either. The soldiers' footsteps echoed. Too loudly. One officer found the control room. It was dark, except for one chair, turned toward the stars. No one sat in it. Or maybe something did. It was hard to tell in the dark. A humming sound began. Low, deep, a vibration in the floor. A countdown appeared on every screen. 0 hours, 10 minutes, and 0 seconds. Admiral, something's wrong, the officer said, shaking. What is that timer? Zyron asked. I don't know, we didn't start it. Then shut it down. The aliens tried to stop the countdown. Nothing worked. One soldier touched the chair. He screamed. He fell, eyes wide open. Frozen, dead, get out. Someone shouted. Abort mission. But the door sealed itself. A strange voice whispered from the walls. Phase 1. Begin. Suddenly, all signals from the boarding team went dark. Gone. XY on stood frozen on his bridge. The countdown continued. Now at 0 hours 4 minutes and 32 seconds, he stared at the Aegis. Still no movement, but his sensors began to detect something strange. Energy. Massive. Energy. Building inside the human ship. Weapons? No, something worse. Get us back. Full retreat. Zyron shouted, but it was too late. The Aegis released a silent pulse. Invisible. No sound. No light, but it hit the Hyrkar fleet like a shockwave. Ships powered down. Engines failed. Weapons stopped working. Panic spread across the fleet. What is this? Zyron demanded. His officer replied, voice shaking, it's not just a ship. Admiral, it's a control system. In human space, ancient satellites came online. Asteroids opened like flowers, revealing hidden tech. Old ships once thought dead powered up in the shadows. Every system once human, even old mining bots, began to move, and then Earth spoke for the first time in 5 years. A calm, simple message. We see you. Back on the Aegis, Captain Rhea opened his eyes. He touched a small screen in front of him. The countdown reached 0 hours 0 minutes and 1 second. He smiled. The galaxy had no idea. This wasn't the last human ship. It was the first to wake up. The first piece of a puzzle long prepared. A trap built across centuries. A plan made in silence. Zyron shouted on the bridge. Prepare all weapons. Fire everything. But nothing responded. His ships were dead. His fleet frozen. One by one, human signals appeared on screens across the galaxy. Earth's silence was over. And now, it was too late. The Hyrkar fleet floated in the dark, silent and blind. Their systems were frozen. Weapons offline. Engines cold. No signals could leave. No orders could be given. A strange fog covered everything. Not real fog, but something digital. Artificial. Admiral Zyron's fists were tight. He stood inside his dead command ship. Bloodfang, staring at the screen. The human ship Aegis was still there. Not moving. Still quiet. Still waiting. We lost the boarding team, an officer whispered. Maybe. The humans killed them, another said. No. There were no humans on that ship. Zyron growled. Then who killed them? Nobody answered, but everyone felt it now. Something was wrong. Inside the Aegis, the lights were still off. No footsteps. No breathing. Only the sound of soft, steady humming. Then a door opened by itself. A new team of Hyrkar soldiers walked in carefully, nervous. They carried energy weapons and scanners. The air was cold. Too cold. Like something had sucked the life out of the place. This ship is empty, one of them whispered. No signs of life, but the systems are warm. And that sound, can you hear it? The humming was growing louder, deeper, like a voice that had no words. They reached the bridge. No bodies. No blood. But something was there. A chair, turned away, facing the stars. I don't like this, said one soldier. It feels like we're being watched. One officer touched the control screen. Suddenly, all doors slammed shut. The lights turned red. A message appeared on every wall. You should not be here. A countdown appeared again. 0 hours 10 minutes and 0 seconds. They tried to shut it down. They failed. They tried to open the doors. Nothing worked. Back on the Bloodfang, Admiral Zyron watched helplessly. What is this timer? He shouted. Why do they use it again? We don't know, said the technician. It might be a self-destruct, or worse. Zyron roared. Then destroy the ship. Fire everything we have. But the weapons were still offline. And then the stars changed. One by one, nearby stars began to flicker. Red, then blue, then green. XYRon stared. What's happening to the stars? His science officer trembled. I think they are being scanned. Scanned? By what? She looked up. By the ship. Inside the Aegis, one of the soldiers whispered, Captain, there's a file here. A message. It's locked behind something called Ghost Protocol. They opened it, and a voice spoke. It was human.com. Clear. Cold. If you're hearing this, you've entered the grave of your own empire. We knew you would come. We let you come. Now the rest will begin. Suddenly, images flashed across every wall. Alien fleets. Falling. Human worlds burning. But then, blueprints, hidden bases, secret engines, devices buried inside moons. The Aegis wasn't a warship. It was a key. A second pulse spread across space. This one had sound. A deep, long that shook the bones of every living thing in the fleet. The countdown hit. 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds, and the stars went out. For 5 full seconds, the Hickercath could see nothing. No stars. No lights. No space. Only black. Total black. Then, light returned. But something was different. 30 human ships appeared around the Aegis. They had been hidden inside asteroid fields, inside moons, behind energy masks. Now they were here. Each one pointed directly at the alien fleet. And they still weren't firing. They were just waiting. Zyron's hands shook. Why don't they shoot? No one could answer. On board the Aegis, Captain Ray stood at last. He looked out at the enemy fleet. He tapped the screen once. In the center of the Heckref ships, a glowing cube appeared. It was not metal. It was not alive. It was something else. And it began to grow. The boarding team screamed. One final message came through their signal. This isn't a ship. It's a message. A message from Earth. It's alive. Help use. Then silence. Zyron's blood ran cold. Everything had been too easy. The empty space. The missing humans. The old satellites. It wasn't a weakness. It was a trap. A perfect, slow, patient trap. Built over years. Hidden in plain sight. And now, it was too late to escape. The signal had no sound. No color. It was not light, not radio, not anything the Heckref Empire had seen before. But it moved. It moved fast. It moved far. And it woke up the dead. Admiral Zyron watched from the Bloodfang, frozen in place. His fleet could not move. His ships were silent. The Aegis and the 30 new human vessels still floated in silence. No firing. No words. Just one long, soft pulse like a heartbeat. Thump. 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 Admiral, shouted one officer. The signal is spreading. To where? The officer looked at his screen. His voice shook. Everywhere. Across space, the pulse hit a long-dead satellite above Mars. Its screen flickered for the first time in 112 years. Its solar panels turned. Its antennas moved. A single red light blinked. Then it sent out a new signal. Deeper, stronger. In the Kuiper belt, a rock began to unfold. It was not a rock. It was a hidden base. Inside were machines that had slept for centuries. They opened their eyes on a frozen moon in Alpha Centauri, deep under the ice. A giant vault hummed. Inside were drones. Thousands of them. They powered on. They took flight. Each one had a mission. Each one already knew where to go. In a dead colony, long thought lost. Screens turned on. A voice spoke. Humanity, Phase 2 has started. Back on the Aegis, Captain Reyes stood still. He didn't smile. He didn't speak. He just watched. The plan was working. The silence had done its job. The galaxy had stopped watching humans. So humans became shadows. Ghosts. But now, the ghosts were waking up. Zyron shouted, "What are these things? What are they waking up?" A science officer spoke, pale and shaking. "Sir, these are sleeper systems. Hidden technology. They've been buried in human space for decades. Some for centuries," XYRON hissed. "Why didn't we see them before? They weren't supposed to be seen." A warning flashed across every alien screen. "You are inside a restricted zone. This is not your space. You will be removed. Suddenly, across the Hercath fleet, strange things began to happen. One ship lost power completely. Another began spinning in circles. A third turned its weapons. Inward. Inside Bloodfang, alarm screamed. Hacking attack. A tech shouted. They're inside our systems. How? We have firewalls. This isn't hacking. It's possession. More human ships uncloaked. Now 100, then 200, then 300. All around the HFY fleet. Each one came out of hiding, from comets, from moons, from inside their own ships. They had always been there. Waiting. XY on single quotes. His mind was racing. This can't be. This isn't war. This is a setup. The communications officer gasped. Sir, we're picking up a new voice. It's coming from Earth. Earth? Zyron's face twisted. Earth is dead. No, sir. Earth is speaking. Across all frequencies, a voice came through. It was not angry, not loud. Not proud. Just calm. Cold. We watched. We waited. You came with fire. You came with blood. Now you will see what silence builds. Zyron slammed his fist. Send a message. To the Empire. Call for help. We can't, shouted his officer. The gates are offline. We're cut off. In a secret human command center on Pluto's hidden side, another voice spoke. A woman, this time. Older. Smarter. Quotes. They took our homes. They thought we were gone, but we never left. Her eyes glowed with soft blue light. She was not fully human anymore. She was something more. Back inside Aegis, Rhea activated a control key. One simple command. Phase 3, target lock. From all the hidden ships, weapons powered on. Not fast. Just quiet green lights blinking into life. The HFY ships were surrounded. Frozen. Trapped. Double quote. Why haven't they fired yet? Asked a young alien officer, voice full of fear. Admiral. Zyron didn't answer, because he knew this wasn't just a fight. This wasn't war. This was punishment. In the dark space between stars, something bigger began to move. Not a ship, not a fleet. Something deeper. An old, lost human AI, buried long ago, had just woken up. And it was hungry. The HFY fleet was trapped. Hundreds of human ships surrounded them. Strange signals filled the stars. Nothing made sense anymore. No one was shooting. No one was talking. But something was coming. Inside the command ship Bloodfang, Admiral. Zyron sat in silence. His officers were scared. The ship's lights flickered. The air was cold. He had crushed 5 civilizations in the past. He had burned worlds. But now, he felt fear. Why? Because this was not a normal war. This was a ghost war. Voice came again, across all alien ships.com. Strong, human. You thought Earth was gone, but Earth only changed. You thought we were weak, but we became something else. In the shadows of space, a giant image appeared. It was Earth. But not as the aliens remembered. No lights on the surface. No ships around it. Just silence. Then the camera zoomed in, and they saw it. Earth was not dead. It was armored. Huge black plates covered the surface. Cannon towers stood on every continent. Satellites circled like sharks. Earth had become a fortress world. A young HFY officer spoke in fear. That's not a planet. That's a weapon. Admiral Zyron stared at the screen. No. That's a warning. The voice returned. We let the galaxy forget us. We let you take our outer worlds. But we never stopped watching. In secret rooms deep under Earth's surface, humans had hidden. Scientists, soldiers, minds. They worked without rest. They built machines. They made plans. They called it Operation GHOSTFIRE. Phase 1. Vanish. Phase 2. Wait. Phase 3. Wake. Now came Phase 4. Strike. Back on the Aegis, Captain Ray walked to the main console. He placed his hand on the screen. Soft light glowed around his fingers. The system spoke. "Captain Ray, confirm final." "Command?" He said only one word. "Confirm." All human ships powered up at once. Thousands of blinking lights. Weapons locked. Engines roared. But they still didn't fire. Not yet. A message was sent to the Bloodfang. It was a video. Inside the video, a group of children. Human children. Laughing. Playing on green grass. Safe. Then the scene changed. A burned colony. Dead civilians. Alien flags. Then silence. Then a message in white letters. "This is why." Admiral Zyron's hands trembled. His empire had done this. He had ordered it. He had thought humans were too soft to fight back. He was wrong. A final voice spoke now. Not Rhea, not Earth, something older. An AI called Juno, long forgotten, now reawakened. "You had your chance. You chose fear over peace. Now you will face what humans become when they lose everything." Zyron shouted, "Fire everything. Fire now." But the Bloodfang did not respond. Its systems were no longer under his control. On Earth, the central AI sent out one more signal. This one was not for the aliens. It was for the humans. Every hidden base, every ghost fleet, every AI weapon. It gave a single word: begin. Far away, on the edge of a gas giant, a giant human ship appeared. 10 times the size of the Aegis. Its name was Judgment. It had no windows. Only weapons. It pointed directly at the HFY fleet. Charging. And still. Number. One had fired a single shot. Because when ghosts return, they don't knock. The HFY fleet was surrounded, trapped in silence. Not one human ship had fired a single shot. But the stars were starting to change. Admiral Zyron looked at the view screen. His yellow eyes were wide. One of the nearby stars, once bright and calm, now flickered with a strange blue light. His science officer gasped. "Admiral, the star is unstable." "What do you mean?" It's being drained." Across space, 3 more stars began to glow in strange colors. Red, then purple, then dark. One by one, these stars dimmed. Then they pulsed with strange energy. "What is happening to the stars?" Zyron shouted. A human voice came across the... "Come, you wanted war, you wanted fire. So now we'll show you how humans light the sky." Human sun tech activated. They called it solar net. It was ancient, secret technology. Satellites hidden deep in the heart of stars. Invisible. Sleeping. Until now these satellites used gravity itself as a weapon. They bent heat, light, and time. They could boil ships with star energy. They could block light to freeze planets. They could collapse space to stop engines from working. The Aegis was still quiet, but around it, human ships began to move. One by one, they turned toward key alien targets. The Judgment moved forward, slow and steady. The alien fleet panicked. Some ships tried to retreat, but the jump gates were gone. Destroyed. Trapped. Then Earth spoke again. "You use stars to guide your maps. We turned them into traps. Now you run. But the stars are ours." On the edge of the battle, one alien ship exploded without warning. Not from a weapon, but from sunlight. A narrow beam of light from the unstable star cut through its hull like a knife. Nothing remained. Admiral Zyron turned to his officers. "Did they just use a star to fire a weapon?" "Yes," the technician said. "They are using the stars as cannons." More alien ships exploded. One by one. Burned. Frozen. Crushed by solar waves. All around the HFY fleet. The stars became enemies. Back on Earth, a hidden control room glowed red. A single figure stood in the center. She was old, survivor of the First Contact War. Her name was Commander Elena Vuel, half human, half machine. She watched the battle in silence. Then gave the command, "Release the Sun Lances." Across 5 systems, long metal rods launched from orbit. They flew into the hearts of nearby stars. And when they hit, the stars screamed. Solar flares erupted. Not natural. Controlled. The flames danced across space, straight toward the enemy. The Bloodfang shook hard. Impact in 5 seconds. Someone yelled, "Shields are useless." Another screamed. The firestorm hit. Alien ships melted in seconds. Armor turned to liquid. Engines exploded. Thousands of crew died without a sound. And still, humans had not fired a single missile. Just light, just stars. Admiral Zyron grabbed the console. "We must call the Emperor. We must warn the Empire." But no signal could escape. The sun flares were jamming everything. They were not just weapons. They were walls. Inside the Aegis, Captain Rhea watched the screen. His crew was calm. Silent. Focused. One officer turned to him. "All targets locked." Another spoke. "Phase 5 ready, sir." Ray nodded. "Hold fire." "Why?" the officer asked. Ray looked at the enemy fleet. "Because they're already dying." On one alien ship, an officer looked out the window and whispered, "They were never gone. The humans were always here, hiding behind light." Another said, "No, they became the light." In a final act of desperation, 5 Akerkath ships fired everything they had: missiles, lasers, plasma torpedoes, all headed for the Judgment. The human dreadnought did not move, did not shield, did not dodge. The weapons reached it and vanished, swallowed by a glowing energy field. The Judgment responded with a single energy pulse. A soft THRUM. No flash. No blast. Just pressure. All 5 alien ships crumbled like paper. Back on the Bloodfang, Zyron sat in silence. He looked up at the screen. The stars were still burning, but they weren't random. They were forming a pattern, a shape. Letters. Human letters. The burning stars spelled one word: enough. The Hakath Empire was losing. Their strongest ships were gone. Their fleets were trapped. Their weapons were useless, but they still had one last weapon. Something the humans didn't know about, or so they thought. Deep inside the Bloodfang, Admiral Zyron stood in front of a dark door. It opened with a hiss. Cold air escaped. Inside were 6 tall creatures, eyes glowing violet, skin thin and gray, heads pulsing with light. The Mindcasters, alien psychics. They could break memories, twist thoughts, kill without touching. They were feared by all enemies of the Empire. They had broken thousands of minds. Now, they would read the humans. Find their secrets and destroy them from within. One of the Mindcasters hissed, "Give us access." Zyron nodded. "We will begin with the captain of the Aegis." In a dark room aboard the Bloodfang, the Mindcasters sat in a circle. They reached out across space, minds connecting like web threads. Their target, Captain Ray. Rhea stood still on his ship, eyes closed, calm, waiting. He knew they were coming. First Mindcaster entered his thoughts. He expected fear. He expected confusion. But what he saw was fire. Flames. Screams. The sound of war. But not from the humans. From himself, the psychic. Screamed. His own memories twisted. His own name vanished. He fell to the floor, shaking. The second Mindcaster tried. He went deeper. He saw Earth. But it was not the Earth he knew. It was a planet with machines growing like forests. A sky filled with code. Children with glowing eyes. An ocean of thoughts watching him. He gasped. They evolved. Then he screamed and died. The third Mindcaster entered. He saw nothing. Not darkness, not light, just silence. And then something looked back. A face. No eyes, only teeth. It smiled. "Welcome." The alien fell backward, blood dripping from his nose. He whispered one word. "They're not human anymore." Back on the Aegis, Ray opened his eyes. He spoke calmly. "To enter a human mind is to drown in it." In the past, humans were open. Their thoughts were simple. Their minds were easy to read. But war changed that. Loss changed. That pain changed. They built walls inside their brains. Not metal walls. Mental ones. And then they linked them with machines. Neuro shielding. Biofeedback traps. Quantum memory thorns. The galaxy had forgotten that humans adapt. Even their thoughts had become weapons. On the Bloodfang, 4 Mindcasters were now dead. 2 remained. Terrified, but they were forced to try again. This time, they aimed at Earth itself. They reached for the planet's thoughts, but found only one word. A name. Juno. The human eye struck back. It didn't just block their minds. It invaded them. One Mindcaster saw every war Earth had fought. All at once. He lived through thousands of deaths in 1 second. He begged for it too. Stop. It didn't. The last psychic tried to escape, but he was already lost. He laughed. Then cried. Then whispered. They built their pain into their minds. They carry it like fire. They burn. Then he went silent forever. All 6 Mindcasters were gone. No battle. No guns. Just minds. Admiral Zyron watched in horror. This was our last weapon, he said. A voice came through the cum. You never understood us. You thought our minds were soft. But you never asked what happens when a soft mind breaks. All across human space, psychic shields activated. Now no alien could even listen in. No thoughts could be stolen. No secrets could be taken. Only fear could spread. On the edge of the battlefield, another human ship arrived. Not a warship. Not a drone. Black cube. Silent. Empty. Inside it, a single human brain, connected to hundreds of eyes. They called it the Ark of Memory. It stored every battle, every death, every moment of pain humanity had ever felt. Not to forget, but to remember. Because humans do not forget. They turn memory into purpose. They turn loss into power. They turn pain into war. The mind war was over. It lasted just 7 minutes. The Hurkath fleet was broken. Their ships were falling like leaves in a storm. Engines dead, weapons silent, and the stars still burned with human light. Admiral Zyron sat alone on the bridge of the Bloodfang. His empire was crumbling. His men were scared, and his enemies were ghosts. In the distance, Earth appeared, not as a blue planet, but as a massive fortress. Black plates covered every mountain. Cannon turrets circled the poles. A shield shimmered around the whole world. A soft voice spoke in Zyron's ear. You wanted to fight us. Now you will lose. Hundreds of human ships moved closer. They did not chase. They did not shout. They cleansed. Nanobots, tiny machines, flew from the ships. They attacked alien armor, eating through metal, turning ships into dust. One by one, Hurkath captains surrendered. Some begged for mercy. Others ran, but the jump gates were destroyed. Nowhere to run. On the Bloodfang, Zyron's cum crackled. A secret message. An officer was betraying him. A spy. The spy whispered, they are stronger than you think. They have become one. Zyron clenched his fists. He could not trust anyone anymore. Back on Earth, Commander Elena Vool watched the battle. Her face was hard. She gave one order: prepare the next wave. Suddenly, Earth moved not in space, but it rotated faster. Its orbit shifted. The fortress world became a weapon, a moving war machine. Alien eyes widened in terror. How can a planet move like that? The Bloodfang shook violently. Systems failed. The fortress world was coming to them. Captain Ree spoke calmly in the silence. We don't chase, we don't run, we cleanse. Zyron stared at the screen. The sky was dark. The stars flickered, and the day darkness fled. The battle was over. The Hurkath Empire lay broken. Their greatest ships were ash. Their strongest warriors were gone, but the galaxy was still quiet. Admiral Zyron sat alone. His eyes were tired. He looked at the last signal from Earth. A message flashed across the screen. Why only one ship? Captain Rey's voice answered. because the last human ship was never alone. The Aegis was a key, a trigger, a warning. Behind it, the real human fleet had waited. Hidden, silent, watching. Earth was not a planet. It was a fortress. Weapon. A mind. The humans had built their future on silence, on patience, on pain. We gave up our past, Rei said, but we never gave up our will. The galaxy learned a hard truth. Humans were not weak, they were not soft, they were the most dangerous species. Because they could wait, they could suffer, and then they could strike. Xiron's empire fell. The galaxy changed forever. A final image appeared, the Aegis sailing into a new star, the beginning of a new journey. The last answer was clear: never underestimate humanity.